Greetings everyone, it's that time of year again for another This Is Not a Joke review. For those who don't know, I release a video around April 1st about a subject, usually a Sonic comic, that is so ridiculous that it couldn't possibly happen. But it did. Because of what's been going on in the world at the time of this recording, chances are this video will be out days after April 1st. You know what? I may gloss over holiday related reviews, especially since I'm running out of related material, but I will keep this tradition alive. A few of my past entries include the time an entire comic told its story backwards, the time Sonic went to school as a student, and the time Sonic encountered Sabrina the Teenage Witch. Which brings us to today. It's another crossover, this time between characters from the main Archie series and Sonic X. Yes, today we're taking a look at Sonic X issue 40. Enjoy! Sonic X issue 40 is the last issue of this comic series. Why end it at this point? Originally I thought it was because Archie was about to launch Sonic Universe and there was a financial element to it. Only 2 Sonic books allowed to save money. I think it's still partially true, but as I was trying to find things out about this issue, apparently one reason why the comic series ended was due to the rights. Sega had ownership of the game characters, TMS Entertainment had the Sonic X originals, and there's the distribution, particularly in North America, which was at the time 4Kids Entertainment. Now that I think about it, money would have been involved in this situation. Regardless of what information is out there, especially on the internet, the point remains: Sonic X out, Sonic Universe in. To celebrate this transition, a plot thread was created in the main Archie Sonic series, one that continues here and will conclude in Sonic Universe issue 1. Eggman, whose mind is on the verge of snapping, built a Metal Sonic with a special engine for dimensional travel. As a bonus, the serial number for this engine is SXSU-401. The idea was, no matter where Sonic goes, this Metal Sonic will follow it, and it does so right into the middle of a Hedgehog Havoc. Shadow also teleports into the Havoc, only it was a mistake. He was trying to get into the Special Zone. Eventually things got out of hand that, rather than attacking a powered up version of Sonic's evil doppelganger, Metal Sonic went after Sonic. Shadow inadvertently takes care of this problem as, thanks to the Dimensional Engine and Chaos Control, they both teleport away. We'll catch up with them very soon. So, let's get started. At Thorndyke Manor, Cream is throwing a little tea party, and Sonic doesn't mind joining her. Actually, Sonic's following one of the major rules of the franchise. When Cream the Rabbit invites you to tea, you better accept and like it. This slow day is interrupted by the arrival of Shadow and Metal Sonic. Confused at where it's at, Metal Sonic takes off to find this dimension's Robotnik. Sonic here is taking the insanity all in stride. As the 2 hedgehogs run through Station Square, Shadow explains his situation. Sonic understands since he and his friends are from another world and that his Shadow is currently dead. A reminder that this takes place after Sonic X's interpretation of Sonic Adventure 2. Sonic believes Metal Sonic will turn up eventually, so for the time being, he gives Shadow a tour. First stop, the Chaotix Detective Agency. Shadow points out that his universe's Chaotix aren't exactly detectives, though he did not mention the additional members in their ranks. Anyway, the Chaotix are fixing their building because of what happened to Vector recently. A shadowy organization turned him into a giant monster, and he tore through the roof. Shadow's face when hearing it from Sonic is priceless. Next stop on the tour is Station Square Elementary, where Sonic knows someone would be excited to see Shadow. That someone is Chris Thorndyke. Shadow Prime is not prepared for the likes of this character. Sonic here is secretly enjoying Shadow's suffering like this, even if it's not his. To be fair, Shadow comforts Chris, saying he's only passing by and says he'll return one day. We'll get to that later. One more stop on the tour is the high-speed police station, where we see Sam speed by a police racing car. Unbeknownst to anyone, this vehicle has a hidden spy camera, which allows the previously mentioned shadowy organization, Sonic X, to spy on Sonic and his allies. However, as soon as they spot Shadow, and knowing about his terrifying reputation, they decide to scrap this plan. And that's the last we'll see of these guys. No wonder they never won against Sonic. Speaking of villains, at Eggman's tower, Bo-kun answers the front door to find Metal Sonic waiting. He takes off while Metal Sonic struts right in. After locating this universe's Eggman, Metal Sonic awaits instructions. And based on the way it introduces itself, Eggman figures out it's from an alternate reality. And when a killer robot from an alternate universe that obeys his every command appears on your front doorstep, you might as well take advantage of it. Keep in mind that Metal Sonic never existed in the Sonic X continuity. Eggman gives Metal Sonic a brief tour of his base, where we see some of his past schemes, all while admiring the genius surrounding Metal Sonic. Given that this robot was built by an Eggman who's 2 defeats away from a complete mental breakdown, yeah, it is still genius, though being on the cusp of insanity might explain why this Metal Sonic was programmed to seek out any Robotnik from any dimension. Which is funny considering that the Eggman in the main Archie series originally came from another dimension. Eventually, they make it to Eggman's Eggmobile and fly off to deal with Sonic once and for all. Heading back over to the Blue Hedgehog, he tells Shadow he's welcome to stick around. Shadow's tempted, but he still has work to do, kicking off a spin-off book for one. Eggman and Metal Sonic arrive, and it looks like we're in for one heck of a fight. But it's not happening. Eggman, surprised by Shadow's presence, blurts out his name, causing Metal Sonic to attack him. Shadow sees this as a chance to repeat the trick from issue 196, and just like that, they're both gone. I'm sure wherever they end up next, they're gonna have a new venture. Having lost his new toy, Eggman turns tail and quickly heads back to his tower. There's actually another reason for the hasty retreat. Shadow's appearance spooked him enough to enter a room containing the Sonic X Shadow in stasis, the one that he rescued sometime after the aforementioned Sonic Adventure 2 adaptation. This will play out later in the anime. The issue and the series ends with everyone gathering at Thorndyke Manor, and Sonic telling everyone things are cool, Shadow is off on another adventure, and soon they will be too. Just not in printed format. This finale serves as a sort of a celebration to the series. In fact, this cover here is a callback to the first one. The issue brings back many of the characters as it can, even if some appearances are reduced to cameos. There are continuity nods to previous issues, whether they be outright referenced or shown in displays like at Eggman's Tower. Given that Ian Flynn wrote the issue, I'm not that surprised. There was little action present. In fact, the only action in this entire issue is Shadow and Metal Sonic grabbing each other and teleporting either in or out of the Sonic X universe. I don't mind this. The focus should be on this universe's characters and how the Prime Universe characters interact with them. Though admittedly by the end I was a little tired of the "Hey Shadow, aren't you supposed to be dead?" running gag. In a way, this breather story works in 2 ways. From the Sonic X character's point of view, the incident with Monster Vector just happened, and coming up after this issue is the events of the Season 2 finale. I'm still assuming these comics are in continuity with the anime. From Shadow and Metal Sonic's point of view, they just left a fight against Super Scourge and got to experience the calm yet strange world of Sonic X. Their story after leaving here will continue in Sonic Universe issue 1, where things will heat up. I will not apologize for saying that. The art is suitable enough, but I will point this out. If you're reading this only for the Shadow Metal Sonic plot, it is jarring going from Tracy Yardley's pencils in Sonic 196 over to David Hutchison's here, then back to Tracy for Sonic Universe 1. You can clearly see it with Metal Sonic. Tracy's version is more detailed with that big dimensional engine, something David doesn't replicate successfully. I'll go ahead and say my final score for this issue is a 6. Like I said, it's a celebration of the comic series, but if you're following it just for the Shadow/Metal Sonic plot, you can skip it if you wish. Which brings me to my personal opinion. This issue was also written for those who didn't bother picking up the Sonic X comic series for some reason, either due to hatred of the brand, didn't know this series existed, etc. Shadow, and to a lesser extent Metal Sonic, serve as audience stand-ins to this universe, and perhaps the goal was for the readers to try the rest of the series if they are curious. Which is funny considering the controversy surrounding this issue. Based on what I've read, and my own faulty memory, it is thanks to this issue that the Sonic X comic never got the reprint or the graphic novel treatment. I know it's moot these days, but at the time, it was a pretty big deal. I think. Even Ian Flynn commented on this. See, by having Shadow and Metal Sonic appear in this issue, it establishes that Sonic X is part of the overall Archie Sonic comic multiverse. Apparently it didn't sit well with certain elements of the brand, i.e. the anime division, since the comic series was supposed to be a part of it. As such, they won't allow any more comic adventures of these characters. If I'm wrong about this in any way, feel free to correct me in the comments section. Again, I'm going off of what I've read and a faulty memory. Still, the Sonic X comic series served as a perfect companion piece to the anime, with numerous callbacks and foreshadowing of things to come, while at the same time, adds things that don't contradict the anime events. Each main writer tackles this differently. Joe Ekins ties the comic stories closer to the anime, while Ian Flynn introduces new elements such as El Gran Gordo and the evil Sonic X organization. Even Tracy Yardley provides some interesting stories whenever he's on writing duty, which is fine. The comic has an episodic feeling to it, since the events of the anime take precedent. While I, as of this recording, still have limited knowledge of this anime beyond necessary research, I do appreciate and respect Archie and Sega for making this comic in the first place, and hopefully fans of Sonic X can get some satisfaction out of it. Something tells me Shadow would rather fight Super Scourge again than being embraced by an emotional Chris Thorndike.